when you're able to pivot towards the product-based business versus a services-based business. Nothing wrong with that. There are some people who love doing it, and I have some very good friends who are running great agencies and stuff. And so the turning point was when I got into the 4% challenge back then, and the ideas that you planted at that point of time, I was grinding it. I was like $1,500 per month. And I was not able to draw much from the company also because we had salaries to pay, we had tools, and there would be a churn in the clients that would come in and go, people that would come in and go, and he was like 3-4 years old, and we were struggling a lot to even buy things for the home, making decisions to even purchase things. I could not make decisions on money decisions. And me and my wife would have endless conversations. When is this going to end? When are we going to just get through this grinding phase? She wanted to buy stuff for herself, and we were not able to come through it. And I had taken a gold loan, because when I got into the internet journey, I had pawned my wife's gold jewelry for, I think it was around $20 or $30,000, something in that range. And it was extremely difficult because I was paying the EMIs for the gold loan, and it was eating up whatever I was drawing from the company. It was a struggle for a long time.
So were you bringing in? Yeah. So from 20?
Yes, 1,000.
Did I get you right?
On the top side, 1,500 per month.
1,500 per. Okay, and okay, got it. Okay, go on.
And the day, once I started the 4% challenge, I've been following you even in the previous 3-4 years, but I started to follow you diligently. So in the sense, I completely decided to surrender, complete surrender. If you tell me just do this, I just wanted to do that. So when you told me about the strangest secret in the world, I remember the first 30 days, I listened to it twice a day, without a break. It was and I could see massive shifts happening in my mind. It was like I was installing a new lens that I was looking at the world, and I realized the problem was me. It was not the situation that I was in. It was my own mindset, my own limited thinking, and I was playing the small game, and I was just blaming others, and I was thinking that this entitlement mentality was there, I'm entitled. Even in my own business, I felt I was entitled to, get more, or even though I was doing hard work, I was working hard, but it somehow felt like it was a grind phase. So after those 30 days, myself, and I was going through that redefinition of myself. I would say that Sid 2.0 was emerging. And when I took control over my life, and I decided to start to follow whatever you said. So some of the mindset principles were very crucial. I also attended the T. Harv Eker's program, the Millionaire Man Intensive over here, which also had a huge impact. I went through the entire grind, not the grind, actually the entire learning journey to the Quantum Leap, the Train the Trainer. Got mentored by Blair Singer. He's also one of my other mentors who impacted me profoundly as a trainer. Yeah. I started to do a lot of speaking engagements, doing training on stages, and so all of these elements came together when I decided to take control over my own life. And that's when the income moved from 1,020 days to 6 months, I would say, within 3 to 6 months. 6 months quickly moved. And the first milestone was winning that contest, the Miami contest, which I came and spent a good 2 days with you. And after Miami was the major shift. The major shift happened was after I met you, after we spent that whole day on the, it was the first time in my life I got
fun.
to.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and it just opened up my mind to a new reality which I've never experienced before. And then when I came back, the whole energy had shifted. Whatever I would do was on a completely different plane. And even after you shared some of the stuff, the shared on day number 2, I still remember we were in that boardroom and you were talking about the money management part and how it's so important to manage money more than just making money. And that also it struck a deep chord inside me, because I was also looking at the internet marketing space for many years. Many people flashing their incomes, everything looks good on the outside, but you were telling me the reality of the situation where many of them actually don't have money later on, because it's only the revenue. It is not the ads and the other stuff. And you had it down to a formula, the TWCGO formula. And when I came back, I told my wife this, and then we opened up 5 different bank accounts. And then we started to follow that system properly. And if whatever money that I was making, I was not splurging, not just buying things. Yes, I would buy good things. I would buy, like I have a Mont Blanc pen over here, and I would go buy stuff, but not in a way that I just go and splurge. I followed the percentage system that you gave on money management. That actually had a huge impact because there was no emotion connected to it, to money. I started to follow it like a system, and then I just kept feeding back the engine. That operations account was one of the important account where I would put the money back into ads, or put the money back into tools, or put the money back into investing. So whatever you would be launching, so the internet traffic, mastery back then, all the learnings, whatever you would say, I would just go and invest in that, because I realized that, like Jim Rohn says, so formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. And I'm the living proof here that just by learning and following the system, and that's what helped. And one is out there are a lot of gurus, influencers that I've seen, and even recently, I think you shared in one of your videos that there are two kinds of influencers. You have the ones who are loud and like the Gary V's, the Ty Lopez, the Dan Lokes, and there are so many of them who are on that. But I was very attracted to your way of doing things, like your silent systems, automation, mastery of traffic, truly creating, adding value to people's lives, in terms of the way that you're able to structure your systems, not shouting out like 100 times on social media. And I could completely resonate with that format of building an influence or building a tribe in that method. And I just decided to completely follow you. So yeah, just in a nutshell, the mindset shifts along with the blueprints that you gave, just followed it to the T, instead of building and promoting just affiliate programs where you talk about the ecosystem model, you talk about have your own world, create your own ecosystem, create your own way of nurturing your tribe. I started to build my own products, and then through my products I started to connect them to the MSI, the multiple streams of income.
So I want to get into that. So we can go and spend about 2 days on details of what he just mentioned, right? So Sid, first and foremost, here is what most people will feel, okay? And you guys are in the chat, please communicate back with me, because it's important. Sid, I'm going to try to pull as many nuggets having my aspirational entrepreneur hat on. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Right. So I'm gonna be an advocate for somebody who is aspiring to go to that next level, right? And so most people, they will hear a story like this, and maybe not consciously, but subconsciously, they'll be, first of all, a lot of people might find themselves subconsciously be a little bit jealous of somebody else's success, right? So they might be like, they see somebody that just went from like beginning, just start dabbling into affiliate marketing to now running their own system that generated over $1 million in money. That's how much you process through payments, right?
Yes.
But it's not like sales and then you have to pay out additional like affiliate things or anything like that. This is like your money in the bank that actually went into your bank account, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Be a little bit jealous about somebody else's success. So even if they comment like, "Oh, congratulations, Sid," right? Deep down they're like, "Man," and it kind of presses them down just a hair on a subconscious level. Anybody know what I'm talking about, right? So and on the very next step after that is they would subconsciously like disqualify themselves from being able to have that much success, especially if somebody is hasn't been accustomed to that level of success or any success yet. Subconsciously, guys, really pay attention to this, because subconsciously you might be like, "Congratulations, Sid," but you're disconnected with the reality that this is possible for you. You see what I'm saying? So Sid, let's talk about this, brother. Like what happened in that phase when you were going from, you said your transformation, right? So from 2011 to 2018, you were, like you said, you were grinding, you were doing things, and you were pulling in about $1,000-$1,500 a month. Okay. By the way, a lot of you guys can resonate with this, right? I mean, I want to talk openly here. We're not gonna like, Sid is nobody special, Vic is nobody special, right? Anybody, heck, President Trump is nobody special. Your prime minister of your country is nobody special. They just know stuff that other people don't. Sid knows, and he followed maybe different set of blueprints, which I want to get into for the rest of this thing. But I want everybody to understand that when you congratulate, when you say like, congratulations, Sid, be very mindful of what's going on in your heart of hearts, in your subconscious mind, deep down where you have to maybe dig deep and really find that feeling. If you have a feeling of a little envy or a little like, good for you, man, but here's my situation, okay? That one little thing alone could be the barrier that's preventing you from going to the next level, okay? Keep that in mind. Sid, walk me through, bro.
Yeah.
What were some of the important, give me like a real meat, like from your heart, what really, you said you started to change your mindset and you started to change things, like how, were there any specific things that you started to do differently? Prior to the 2018, prior to getting exposed to the information that you got exposed in the Success Challenge, which now, by the way, is Affiliate Marketing Academy.
Yes, because I used to be that person where I should look at others, when they were successful, I should look at them with awe. I was like, when am I going to be that? I had that same thought process. I remember when like you were crushing it during the Empower days, you were crushing it, afterwards, like how's Vick able to do it?
Bro, did you have that little bit of like an envy inside of you, during that time? I mean, just honestly, I don't know if you did.
Honestly, yeah. I felt like, it's good Vick is doing, but is it really possible if I can do it? So yes, there was envy. There's no doubts about that. All of us, we are human. We are not like superhuman. We have those traits in us of envy. And I personally, I did have envy when I was looking at all the leaderboards and all that stuff. But then I'll tell you the shift that happened is when I was looking at the videos in the Success Challenge and I was going through it, I could see that you were operating from a point of love. Okay, I do not know if others can perceive this, but Vick, I could see that you genuinely wanted to help people. And that was just coming through, it was just oozing out of your videos, whether others, if all of you can, if you're watching this and if you can resonate with this, just type yes in the comment box, because I could really feel that energy where you're not operating from a competing mindset, but from a mindset of love. And when I met you, I knew that there was some invisible forces that were actually keeping you grounded. And I was watching your videos. I was looking at all the entrepreneur shows, and I would just try to read between the lines, like what's making Vick what Vick is. And I remember you mentioned one of the books. It was just like probably a one-liner embedded inside one of your long videos, which was, I go and read the book Thou Shalt Prosper by Daniel Lapin.
Yeah. Oh, that's a deep one, guys. That's a deep one.
Yeah, I went and dug into
controversial too.
And it is a controversial book. But then I truly understood the essence of business, and I understood where you are operating from. Because business is not just about making money. It's about truly serving people to upgrade people in their lives, and money is the byproduct of adding value. And I could see that thread right through all the videos. So during that transformation phase, even though I knew technically, because I was running an agency, I knew about funnels, I knew about some of the tech setups. You run campaigns for clients, but it was not reflecting my bank account, because the energy with which I was operating the operating system was not right. Because I used to be that person where I should look at others, when they were successful, I should look at them with awe. I was like, when am I going to be that? I had that same thought process. I remember when like you were crushing it during the Empower days, you were crushing it, afterwards, like how's Vick able to do it?
Bro, did you have that little bit of like an envy inside of you, during that time? I mean, just honestly, I don't know if you did.
Honestly, yeah. I felt like, it's good Vick is doing, but is it really possible if I can do it? So yes, there was trying to absorb your energy, like what is the intent behind why you're doing this. I just wanted to embody whatever you are doing. Okay, it's not about the knowledge that you're sharing, but it is about embodying what your intent is, the intention behind why you say what you say, why you do what you do. And those were some of the patterns that I started to install in myself, and putting yourself in. I mean, in my mind, it would be like, okay, would Vic do this, or would Blair do this? Blair Singer is also one of my mentors. He talks about the code of honor, which is a value system that has to be so strong, which can protect us from ourselves. So even in my community, before I start any coaching call, or not coaching, it's like our community masterminds, I share the code of honor. We need to be working our community on a few principles that can really support us. So I would always think in terms of, would Vic do this? Would Blair do this? And you were the two people who I would like to look through the lens of that, look at any decision making through those lens. And of course, there's another angle to it, which is, just like you, I also come from a spiritual family, spiritual background. So reading the scripture, I have my spiritual master, listening to him and understanding his view also. So I felt a lot of the grounding comes from there. Because one of the interviews I remember you had spoken to our community, you said that more money, more fame, more riches, it only accentuates what is already there inside you. And I've seen this happen even in the online world. Like many people, they become big, they start to flash things around, and the life takes a different turn. And I could see that you were operating in a slightly different way. I mean, you were much more grounded, and you had a different operating system going there. So I think those were the elements. You have to zoom in and see what were the aspects that helped me move through and make quick progress were these elements, like trying to imbibe the deeper aspects of this. And also even even though I've been making money and stuff, I've never flashed things around, never posting income snapshots. That is never my thing. It was only about how I can give back to the community, how I can get other people to get results.
Yeah.
And the spotlight was not on me. The spotlight was on them. And that made a huge difference.
So I want to get into, people asking about, what kind of products you sold. So we'll get into that. So Sid, really really the difference is, it sounds like it's so subtle that most people miss it.
Yeah.
But I'm picking this up because I know exactly what you're saying, is that you can, you selling a product, and you can be in it for them. Okay, bro, let's talk about this, right? Because to me, this is a fascinating topic, right? Because initially, I did not have my breakthrough until I started to deliver value to the people that I was trying to sell.
Yeah.
Right? So I was promoting other people's products. I didn't have my own product. You now have your own product, which is awesome. But when I was doing what everybody else was doing, which is basically pushing product and trying to make a sale, nothing happened for me, right? And then I'm like, dude, I'm just going to start doing a little bit more, go above and beyond what everybody else is doing, and selling the same product. So I started to do these teleconferences once a week, every Friday. Yeah. You know the story. I would invite my people, my prospects, and then eventually one person bought. And then I'm like, okay, how can I just transfer what I was doing and really focus on the people instead of on the money? And that's when money started to show up for me. Sounds like that's kind of like you break through that fine line that most people miss. Because you can hear sayings like, oh, don't work, push a button, and people treat this thing as almost like some sort of a, it's so crazy right now how